with us in the words of Momonaka Aina, that the land is nurtured, the land is full, the land is abundant. Above all, that perhaps our children to our kupuna shall never grow hungry. There you go. Everybody clap. There you go.
We've asked for many years, invest in agriculture. That's exactly what you're seeing here, an investment, not just one facility, but a multitude, and not just here in Central Oahu, to include the Wahiawa Value Added Center, but the things that we're seeing in Whitmore, but as you heard the Senator talk about today, an expansion across the state, creating brand new opportunities for farmers, ranchers, food producers, entrepreneurs, and the community at large.
I don't care what your kid's interest in, we have a job in ag for them. You need to be thinking, how can I be a part of this? How can I support this?
Feeding our keiki is about more than food. It's about building systems that care for our people.
And we've been talking about reversing the brain drain, diversifying our economy, reducing imports. So what this plan tries to do is accomplish all of those things. Leveraging the demands and the purchasing power of the state to help build an economy. The core of it is going to be the regional kitchens for the Department of Agriculture and the value-added centers within the community college. By purchasing local, we're able to divert funds that we spend now on the mainland to bring in food that we have to import for the Department of Education. The regional kitchens now can help scale up the processing that normally occurs on the mainland.
Centralized kitchens source 50% of its food locally, will serve as a single biggest driver to local food production.
They really work. A farmer can come drop off their produce and you can process it there.
With the regional kitchens, we're talking about large-scale food manufacturing that now we can distribute to our schools. All of that helps create jobs. It helps create demand for local ag. And so all of that occurs because we're leveraging the purchasing power of the state. We're working with Culinary Institute of the Pacific, Culinary Institute of America to develop menus. So we're going to have to train more.
This is actually the beginning of something that will impact families and will impact communities.
One of the things that we really want to try to do is get more native products in the menu. More poi, lau lau, io, and encourage more farmers to grow more native products. Things are getting more expensive, we need to create efficiencies, people want to buy more local. It does not necessarily occur organically. There needs to be a lot of thought into it and a lot of strategic investment.
It's an entire food network ecosystem. It's about our farmers, it's about production, it's about investing in our infrastructure.
What's game-changing about this regional kitchen is that it will not just feed one cafeteria, but multiple cafeterias and multiple schools. So you're looking at starting with maybe 20,000 students when the first phase is done, and then getting up to 60,000 students a day.
We have to do more. We have to do more to invest in agriculture. We have to do more to have programs for our keiki to go through high school and learn to do ag. All of these things will make us uniquely Hawaii again. And food, as Jamie pointed out, is a huge part of culture in Hawaii.
I just want the kids to be excited about coming to school to eat. That's the end result. We want them to be excited. Come to school, have a great meal, can change a lot of different things, right? So we're talking about kids participating, eating, not only nutritional meals, but to me, tasty meals, okay? Because it doesn't matter how much nutrition values are out there, right? But if they don't eat it, what's the use?
As a dietitian, it's so important that we have fresh local ingredients versus imported ingredients, because when we pick it fresh, it has more vitamins and minerals, and that's what we want for our keiki. They want to learn about new ways of eating food. They just might not have the access to it. So with this program, we're able to introduce new foods, local ingredients to our keiki, and get them used to this.
I've been a registered dietitian for over 25 years and also a chef. My role is as a supporting consulting chef, but also to teach the participants the nutrition knowledge of why we're doing this for our children. First, we're educating our school nutrition professionals. We're teaching them how to prepare nutritious, delicious food, and it has to be attractive so the kids will want to eat it. And first and foremost, it has to taste good.
That program between CIP and CIA is so that we can help scale up more culinary activity here in Hawaii. And we want to expand that partnership now with the menu creation at the Department of Education.
The question is it possible to feed our hundreds of thousands of keiki here in Hawaii? And the answer is yes, that is our goal. We would stagger the menu so not everyone is getting the same ingredient at the same time. It's district-based, so different school districts will have different ingredients grown by our local farmers, and that way everyone is able to keep up with production.
We educate the school nutrition professionals to be excited about what they're preparing so the students will buy in. Once the students are excited, then they take that back to their families.
It's a lot of work, but when you see these kids having a positive attitudes, coming to the kitchen and asking us, and what are these, what are that, and then if you see them smiling, eating our fresh items, that's already win-win for us. To me, I believe that if you serve a nutritious food for the kids, and that's like the stepping stone for their academic, for their sports, for anything that goes to their daily life. Yes, that's every day for us. And then, but even though the line is long, kids is still wait in line patiently because of the items that we do serve.
Well, it's really part of our DNA. Ever since Mililani High opened in 1973, it's been servicing Mililani Waina and Mililani Uka. This is not a new concept for us to be a centralized kitchen, if you will.
Since we have this new program, the fresh produce and serving new items to the kids, it jumped to 1,000 to 1,200 just for the high school now. And the other school is also 500 and 600. It went up also, and so including our breakfast.
Well, first of all, it works. When we jumped into this, this was just about getting the same number of kids to buy more locally sourced items. Hopefully it's because it's fresher. Hopefully it's because it was exciting.
480 divided by 72.
If you have a good relationship with your crew, teach them very well, and then be a leader to them, and then it will go well. Because at the end of the day, everybody have one goal, and to feed the kids and to have everybody happy. Serve them fresh produce, fresh items.
Why aren't things set up so that we can have more locally sourced items on the plates, and just tomorrow, because we decide we'd rather buy from person A instead of person in California or Venezuela or wherever our products are coming from.
The reason why it begins with DOE is DOE has the purchasing power. So that's a huge amount of students that we need to feed daily. And so what needs to be grown, what needs to be processed, what needs to be cooked and served so that we can make sure that all of our students eat healthy meals.
When you look at the USDA meal allowances, when it comes to fresh fruits and vegetables, it's actually more lenient than it is on the proteins. So when you do salad bars and you do fruit bars, they can almost eat as much as they want. But it's those things, but it's also like Fred Murphy's ability to listen to the students. It's an equity thing too, right? So now the kids who may not like the proteins or eat heavy on proteins, they're eating.
It isn't quite that simple. The procurement systems, the cost, the ways that things have been done for decades has really made it difficult to just transition so quickly. People don't think about Hawaii being the 10th largest school district in the country, but we are a massive system.
Next up, we have our kalo beef stew. featuring lean beef stew meat and kalo that's been locally grown.
And then we want to also talk to our current Department of Education leaders and school workers that know what the kids like already, that know what it takes to feed the kids.
And it's enormous demand side opportunity. We have so many people to feed. We have so many schools to care for. We have so many other institutions. But the bigger challenge is getting people fully motivated to invest in this program, because it's going to take some investment, which will then help all of us.
So even though it begins and ends with DOE, you have all these other stakeholders that are critical for the entire ecosystem.
The private industry feeds Hawaii every day. This is the state's first foray into trying to set up distribution, centralized kitchens, and systems across the state. This is something that we do as private industry on a daily basis. Partnering with private industry is the state's most cost-efficient, effective way to move food across the state into the schools, hospitals, and prisons. The beauty of it is the systems that actually do this, whether it's logistically, the trucking, the refrigeration, the food safety, all of this from the private industry is available today. One of the things that we've grown into here is we also own and operate Ni'ihau Ahiu Provisions. This is a slaughter and processing facility on Kauai that handles lamb and antelope from Ni'ihau, handles cattle and buffalo from Kauai. And so our system and our food safety team and our processing and value add team already have the skills to actually work with the state, again in partnership, to be able to grow local protein, process local protein, value add local protein, and then move to the school system. What's exciting about this plan is it's the first time it's been an orchestrated plan with customers, with the right partners to actually scale appropriately. And so with the DOE system, with the state hospitals, with the state prisons, that's a significant foundation to be able to build agriculture throughout the state.
We were able, because of the work we had started in 2008, to convince the school district to give us a shot at doing a small number of schools. We started that in 2010, and now that has expanded to 32 schools, a social enterprise that generates over $13 million for the kitchen, and also has created over 120 jobs, most of which are held by, again, graduates of our culinary job training program. DC Central Kitchen is based on two really important and almost counterintuitive principles. The first is that food is not the answer to hunger. We are not going to feed our way out of hunger. Food, however, is a powerful, powerful tool that we can use if we bring it to the right place with the right possibilities in mind. When this was proposed almost 37 years ago now, people thought it was nuts. It didn't make sense. Why would one want to do something like that?
This is a kako effort, for sure. Really, I think the government plays an important role together with all of you.
When we first created our central kitchen, we looked at other models, and the other models include central kitchens or cook chill facilities that have been operating for many years for centralized school districts in Tacoma, Washington, and Sacramento, California, for example.
So this is a packaging pit, so anything that's produced in the large kettles are pumped through tubing and fed into packaging equipment.
The large production of thousands of meals is feasible when you have a large facility. It also ensures food safety, quality, and consistency of the production. And the centralized production really helps the school districts to comply with those federal nutritional guidelines. Central Kitchen is just a a standard model whenever you have a need for production of thousands of meals every day.
So this is our staging room where deliveries are staged, products are staged. So right off our food bank, our team has their load list, they're pulling inventory, and they're staging products for delivery.
Central kitchens definitely can support our local agriculture. For example, at Zippy's, we use local beef in our Zippy's chili, which is our #1 seller. And that really goes a long way in supporting the local beef industry. We use local eggs, we use local agriculture such as papayas, tomatoes, cucumbers, and other products. And one of the great things about a central kitchen is that it provides a one point of delivery for the suppliers of local agriculture. At the end of the day, the food has to taste good.
The mandate of increasing local purchasing by 2030. But when you look at what's on the receiving end, it's the expansion of our farmers, the expansion of potential universal meals and child nutrition, and providing the facilities and infrastructure we need to really be resilient. And that's the overall strategy of why DBED's invested in the DOE of Nourishing Hawaii's Future, as well as value-add product development and the regional kitchen.
Really have people think about how important food is to our community and how important it is a driver for our economy.
There's really no reason why Hawaii should still be importing eggs. We're trying to grow towards that, especially with this new DOE program. We should be providing local food for local children. We currently have around 400,000 birds. We're running about 300,000 eggs per day. We're currently expanding with 4 more barns under construction. That'll increase our output. Here, our barns are on site. We run the eggs out every single day. So the morning they're laid, they're washed, weighed, packed, and shipped out to customers that day or the next day. Hawaii needs to stop relying on the imports, and we have the perfect climate to produce eggs and also grow our own produce. You can get sometimes 3 yields a year, whereas in the mainland you can only get 2 because we don't have a winter. Our waste product's actually a huge benefit and can help stimulate a lot of that production. So our fertilizer can be used to grow more crops, such as corn. We can grow livestock feed here, not only for our chickens, but also for beef and cattle. So if there's any matter left on the shell, it will send it back to be rewashed. If it's leaking, it will be dropped into an edible and into these buckets. We compost this with our chicken manure. Eggs are a great start for starting to feed and produce locally. All of our energy and power is coming from the sun, so we're fully off the grid, generating our own electricity and sourcing water directly from our own well. I think we only need to expand in programs like this with DOE is incentivizing farmers to be able to have a guaranteed buyer on one end that will allow them to commit a certain amount of land or volume towards that product. When you support local, you are helping fund a company and allowing them to scale so that we can have opportunities like feeding our keiki, local food in the schools.
The future of agriculture and farming in Hawaii is going to be what we want to make it. To me, it's no longer what we wish to be, it is a necessity. Increasing our local self-sufficiency is absolutely the need, and need is the mother of invention. We can produce year-round a number of fruit crops, papayas, bananas. We can do vegetables like tomatoes, we could do lettuce, we could do cabbages. All those crops that the Department of Education's kitchens normally buy, we can offer that. CETA has a big role to play by focusing its research effort on Hawaii-specific crops and food animals.
The College of Tropical Ag and the Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism with ADC, Agribusiness Development Corp, they're actually creating a matrix of which crops grow the best in different parts of the state. That's part of the reason why we try to purchase more ag land so that we can actually dedicate more land to grow these crops.
It can help Hawaii move in the direction of achieving local self-sufficiency. So CTAR can develop appropriate technologies suitable for small size Hawaii farms. What needs to happen is K through 12 education, the curriculum that we have there, need to incorporate food, the science of agriculture, nutrition, and nutritional health. This has to be part of our education in the K through 12 system.
So we're taking it further and really connecting this ecosystem and leveraging all the other economic values we've said we want to do, and now putting it under a bigger, larger umbrella.
The University of Hawaii is a critical component of this project as well. The Value Add Center starts off there. The expansion of that to the Entrepreneurial Center, it moves with ADC to a larger facility. But the education component is critical for that next generation. And ag technology is critical to that as well. You know, farming is farming. There's certain farming practices that don't change. There's some that do evolve. But we have to, I think, find ways to engage the next generation.
So it's working together to have more workforce development, bring the children into agriculture so that they know that there are secure jobs, whether that's in farming directly or in agriculture or technology.
I'm in position. I'm on the top corner.
So today we're at Sweetland Dairy. What we're doing is having them practice using the drone. So right now they're mapping out Sweetland Dairy's farm. So we have a great community service project with them. They're great community support for our Lelehua program. And our students are able to come out here and kind of just map out where their location is, since they have about 87 acres of farmland that they have. So they're able to go out, map, do digital images and everything, and just practice the skills that they're learning in the classroom.
Agriculture and farming require technology that can reduce labor. Drones can actually identify pests and diseases, and you can actually inspect your crops. You can spray, you can apply fertilizer through these techniques. Our younger generation has that opportunity to do it.
The one who said they have tall trees, what's your location?
Directly behind you on the top side.
Okay, so right there.
Okay.
Now in Lelehua, what we're doing is we're using the aircraft, which is known as a UAV, and teaching the students and the teachers how they can use it for agricultural purposes. What we need to do as educators, as role models, as learners, as parents, as teachers, is to open our children's eyes to possibilities without limits. And technology is one aspect of it.
Agriculture or farming and food is also a business. Learning business skills that people can apply to food and farming is another avenue for our younger generation to get into.
I do believe it starts right here at the school level. We have a lot of second, third, fourth year students coming back because they realize the importance of doing that work outside. Trying to merge traditional methods of farming with the new ways of farming, right? And so that's why we are actually, I believe, the first school. Kind of proud about this. We have our shipping container vertical farm. In that one 40-foot container, you can grow the equivalent of 3 acres of food. It does use a special app. Let's go with the nursery. So I'll turn on the purple lights for the nurseries. And all you have to do is take this plug and put it into this foam. This white piece in the middle is what they call a wicking strip. So that's what gets wet, and the nutrients hold on to that. And really the foam is just to keep it like in the wall. And the reason why that we're able to put all that, smash all that into one small container is because it's growing vertically. It's growing on the walls.
This generation is all about technology. They're always on their phone. So any way we can combine the two in education and technology, I think that's the best way for our students to learn. So why not show them that this is something that you guys can do in real life? This is a career pathway for you folks.
I'm a second-generation farmer. We farm on 150 acres in Wahewa. We do year-round cucumbers and tomatoes. That's our main crops. we have to farm. Like how are we going to get our food? Most people never have to touch a plant, right? Like that they eat. The farming population is like drastically declining. There's definitely less people that are involved in food production. And it's sad that the knowledge that the older generation have is kind of being lost because nobody's kind of taking after them or continuing the farm. One of the main challenges is where is the farmer farming and how long is that lease? Because if we want farmers to farm, they have to be able to make investments. And you can't take out a loan with a 2-year lease, a 5-year lease. It just doesn't make any sense. The farmers either need to own their property or they need to have a long-term lease. I think that's important to learn agriculture in school. Kids need to know, like, what does a tomato tree look like? And there's space for all types of farmers, you know, whether it's conventional, whether it's organic, whether it's like free range. So the property out here, the state maybe should take an interest in it. That way they have an interest in food production, right?
There are very few farmers who can grow and supply that particular commodity consistently week after week. So what we're going to have to do is support farmers scaling up, one, or support more co-ops.
You know, there's still a lot of old-fashioned hard work and just like the attitude of like just doing it, right? Like, let's stop thinking about it and let's do it.
Even with farm expansion, it's not going to only be done by farmers. You know, there's organizations out there in the farm finance world who are looking for investment opportunities and other things. And so we're going to have to find ways to partner some of that investment money with the farmers, right?
One of the cool things about this plan is not only partnering with private industry on distribution and logistics and inter-island logistics as well from the different farms, you're partnering with private industry farmers who now have a customer that they can go to. This is also going through the value-added system. These are meals that are going to go straight to the school system, and so they don't have to be perfect and go into retail. So this allows the farmer to actually use what they call Bs and not grade As, just because of the way the product looks.
A lot of farmers are not going to be able to do their own processing. So by investing in shared facilities, that's another part of the ecosystem that we're trying to fill. That'll help encourage other people to farm more, like the small animal slaughterhouse. So we're going to invest in the small animal slaughterhouse. They'll have some place to process. Once that occurs, we can sell more local.
Not saying shipping out is a bad thing, but shipping out is shipping out the product that Hawaii needs. So if we could somehow get them to save some animals here, we could ramp up and be able to feed our keiki.
Because then the ranchers wouldn't have to change. They would do the same thing they've always done. They would raise cattle and they would sell them to the auction house, and the auction house would put them on the feedlot, and then they would make their money there selling them to the state.
One of the things that I think most people don't know is to feed Hawaii, over 2,000 containers a week show up on Hawaii's shores with just food and beverage. 2,000 containers, and so when a farm or a farmer thinks that they're not going to be chosen, there's so much opportunity to grow their business. And so not only is it going to take rotation through the farmers, it's going to take more farmers to come in to help feed the need for Hawaii's food demand.
We have some of the best ground on the planet for growing things. Like, it doesn't get any better than here. We have no winter. It rains almost year-round. And the ground is one of the only places you can sustain a large cow herd with no feed. We just rotate our pastures, make sure we don't overgraze it, and then the grass comes back, and then we put the cattle back in, and we just keep doing that. And every time we rotate through a pasture, it comes back better and healthier than the time before, because cattle are great at self-sustaining. We have a total of 600 head of cattle on the property. Supplying the DOE with 100% local beef is definitely a possibility. I think Hawaii beef is the #1 local product at the DOE, but it only makes up like 5% of their menu. But we are the largest supporter of local products in schools. Our children should be getting the best possible food, especially in an area where they live, can grow every type of food almost on the planet. Making it more financially suitable for ranchers to keep livestock in the state, I think would be a really good start. All the ranchers I know, they would much rather have their stuff stay here. I think local beef amounts for, I think, 5% of beef consumed in state. So if you could set up a feedlot and the state could help fund the grain to come in, or maybe even grow our own feed, that would probably be the first step.
Do I think that we have enough ranches and enough capability to do so? 100%. I think our goal is to get the ranchers to believe in sustain Hawaii. Don't we want to feed our kids?
Like the Big Island's got it figured out because they've been doing it for so long and cattle's so prominent there. But Oahu, we're losing agriculture land to a lot of other things that don't produce food. One of my biggest focuses is just trying to keep as much agriculture land producing food.
We have to keep remembering that to have a healthy human being, you have to eat healthy food. Well, we're blessed with a great crew who is willing to make substantial changes and not doing things normally. If we could make it work, it is a really good path to sustainability because you're not importing any fertilizer, you're not importing any feed, and it made sense. But how do you make it work? No one else in the Western Hemisphere was doing it. So all this balance contributes to what's happening here. It took all of us a long time to understand that balance is the key.
In Mountain View Farms, we work with nature. There's a synergistic relationship between the plants and the microbes in the ground. If the plants need some calcium, some nutrients, the microbes will provide it for them. These plants are really thriving really well and can handle whatever the nature is giving them.
So that's how we're working with the students. There are two things that are super critical: self-confidence and self-motivation, curiosity.
From fresh picking, you can actually eat it straight. It's our dream to help our students, our family, our little ones to eat local as much as possible because they're the next generation. So having this kind of farming technique, and if we can help them serve it in the plate, scaling up is possible.
Supporting local is everything. I mean, it's our Kuleana. It's like that's our culture, right? We take care of our neighbors, and I take care of the land, and they'll take care of you. So, it's our lifestyle. It's just not like this trend or anything, and that's how it should. I hope it should evolve through everything and be able to feed our community, the schools, starting with our keiki first, local products and local ingredients. For a chef to hear that makes me feel good.
It's feeding our kids, but also educating them about how our foods grow, which spurs other discussions, that they can be incorporated in school as well as home. So this is the big picture, the total picture.
Hawaii Agriculture Foundation from the very start has always been about connecting farmers to the community and vice versa. But more importantly, it's also given opportunities for our students in the classrooms to learn about how important agriculture is. And one of the challenges we've had, and hopefully we can solve this in the next few years, is really to make farming popular, to make it something that kids want to do. And the only way you're going to do that is to really make sure that our farmers are taken care of and that it's a viable business and people can have a great career doing it.
I like the idea of having a lot more economic diversity so that we don't rely only on tourism and the military, that we also can rely on agriculture and food security. That's a big plus if we pull this plan off.
It also begins with DOE because who's going to be the workforce? We have FFA, Future Farmers of America, we have our ag programs, but now many of these programs can be focused on making sure that they include farming the commodities that we're going to have to grow locally so we can actually produce more farmers.
Come on, girls. So the eggs go to the teachers, we sell those, culinary uses them for baking. We have 6 pigs, we have a mule, we're Lelehua mules, we have a mule, we have geese, we have a goat. more chickens on there, and we also have a beehive. I think it is very, very important to teach our students about agriculture. They need to know where their food is coming from and how it's grown. They need to know that traditional agriculture is not the only way to grow. You can do ag tech, but I always come back to where we come from, and it comes from in the ground. To get USDA certified, there's a lot of steps and protocols that you need to follow through with on your farm. You need to have a farm plan. My students all get food handler certified, so I make sure that they're certified in that their freshman year. And then it's a 4-year certification, so it sticks with them. Like this one was just harvested this morning, so the kai choy is all ready to go. Currently, right now, our hydroponics is 100% USDA certified. We're currently in the process of making the other 3 acres fully certified. So everything on the farm can go to our cafeteria or can be sold USDA. It is 100% important to teach our next generation because they need to know these skills. So right now he planted out his corn, and then he has soybeans that should be germinating soon, and then he'll plant sweet potatoes. So he'll have 3 crops. So we have our pak choy, our wambak, our daikon. They see how excited I get when their produce grows, and they're just like, Auntie, it's just the daikon. I'm like, I know, but you grew it. You took the time to do it. And they're like, I did, you know, and they feel rewarded when they get to take it home with their families. Just seeing their excitement when they come to class, they make me who I am. They make me excited to come to work. I love them all as if they're my own. And they give me a reason of why I do what I do.
My name's Neil Anthony Sims, and I'm the founder and CEO of Ocean Era here in Kona, Hawaii. Ocean Era is an offshore aquaculture research and development company that we view offshore aquaculture as a way that we can grow the seafood that humanity needs. Hawaii needs, but all of humanity needs more seafood, and we can grow it in a sustainable, responsible way, so that we're not just taking from the ocean, we're actually learning how to give back as well. They will spawn, then they'll fertilize the eggs, and we'll collect the eggs as the water drains out of the tank. The idea of feeding people with something that's really nutritious and delicious, and that there was a global need for more seafood. Around the turn of the century, around 2000, we started to focus on marine food fish. But Ocean Era now is looking at, well, what is the next big thing? What else do we need to be looking at? And so we've been doing some research with Nanue, which we're really excited about. In the hatchery, we feed them over the next 30 days or so. We can then move them into the tanks and grow them up to a size where we might start to move them out offshore. These here are the sea grapes. This is like eating champagne. When we're thinking about ways to scale seafood production to help feed a hungry world, there's a greater recognition about the need for food self-sustainability here in Hawaii.
When you look at the whole ecosystem and how they all are tied into one another and how they're supporting the next step of innovation and scaling up, then it starts to really make sense.
How do we get more food first grown here, and then making sure that that has a place on the plate?
When our students can make a connection to place through what they're eating, that strengthens their identity as Hawaiian residents. And so we want our students to be able to connect Hawaii and their school experience and their lunchroom experience.
We want to work with everyone, with our communities, to know what commodities, what produce they're already making, and then what their capacity is.
In Hawaiian culture, food really was recognized as being the central part of life, and to the point where the Hawaiian system of organization, of government, of running and organizing life was called the aikapu. Literally what that means is the regulated or sacred eating. Just in the last couple hundred years, we've come from a state of fully meeting our food needs to now being almost fully dependent on outside to meet our food needs. putting action and putting infrastructure to create pathways between growing food to eating food, basically here, I think is very important, you know, and it's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take sustained effort. So this is a mural that my daughter Maile did, and basically it's a depiction of the origin story for kalo. I really like, you know, the idea of starting with the young ones, the keiki, you know, really again, making sure that they have that ono and that familiarity with the food as young children is so important. The closer we can be connected to our foods, the better it's going to be, the healthier it's going to be. We definitely want to keep our traditional foods a part of who we are and a part of our, you know, diets. We have especially the starch foods, which is going to be your main energy sources. Kalo, uala, ulu, and then the kind of the other ones are like mai'a and uhi. You know, all of these foods were brought to Hawaii by our kupuna. You know, the boats that they were coming in were not huge boats. These are the foods that they knew actually over thousands of years of settling islands. These are the key foods that make the most sense in this area. And so I think it's, you know, very important. We gotta use the foods that make sense here. And a lot of the key thing, I think, for a lot of these foods is that they're very high producing in a very small area. So just in, you know, 10 by 10 area right here, we can get poundage of food. Food is one of those things that connects us.
If you can really try to understand what Hawaii needs and what Hawaii's been asking for quite some time, what Nourishing Hawaii Future does is change the whole paradigm and grow local again in different communities, scaling it up.
So when you look at these rural communities, that infrastructure can be repurposed specifically for agriculture again. So you can keep that sense of place, and also that infrastructure can continue to serve a broader community.
We need to make sure our culinary community is taken care of, and our local agriculture, our fishermen, our ranchers, our farmers are all taken care of in order for us to succeed.
Our goal, everyone's goal for our state, should make sure that no child goes hungry. And when we're looking at children, it's not just about the nourishment of our keiki, but also all of our ohana as well.